I want to kind of encourage you to also listen to the video on the evens if you're having any issues whatsoever. All right, there's some SAT questions at the end. I want to get to those also. So here we go. All right, graph each line using a table. What am I plugging in?
-1, 0, 1.
That is exactly correct. So here we go. Let's plug in -1, 0, 1. When I plug in -1, I should have gotten a what? 0
4.
and a 1.
1.
Exactly. There you go. So now you're going to plot those points. -1, 7, 0, 4, and 1, 1. And then draw the line. Yes, sir.
Why would you put a 7 here?
Well, remember, if you plug -1 in, it's -3 times -1 plus 4, isn't it?
Oh.
Right? You see your mistake, right? Okay, good job. That's what I want to hear. If you're making a mistake, speak up. All right? Thomas, you okay? I didn't hear you. Okay, so all you're doing is you're selecting 3 points to plug in for x, and then you plug them in for x and get the y by. So I'm going to plug in 0 just to show you. So I did y equals -3 times 0 plus 4. Y equals 0 plus 4, y equals 4. That's how I got that answer for 0. Do you understand it now? All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug 1 in. So I'm going to show you this. I'm going to plug 1 in, okay? So I'm going to go y equals -3 times 1 plus 4. Remember, I'm plugging it into this top equation right here, Thomas. I plug the x in. You hear me or not? Hey. Good now? All right, let's try number 3. Let's see if you're doing better. Everybody go to number 3. Now, for this one, Thomas, you have to be careful. We're dividing by 4 because there's a fraction. So what numbers I'm going to put in? Yeah, it's better to plug -4, 0, and 4. That way you don't have to deal with the fractions. All right? So just to make sure, I'm going to write these all out this time. So y equals -3 fourths times -4 minus 5. Now again, if you're paying attention, these 4's cancel. So a negative times a negative is a what? So that's 3 minus 5, which was -2. What? It's always whatever the denominator is. That's a 4. So I put 4's in. If it was a 3, I'd put 3 in. What?
So it was a -3, and then when you made 3 minus 5 was positive.
Yeah, because the negative times the negative is a positive. All right, now I'm going to plug 0 in, Thomas. So y equals -3 fourths times 0 minus 5. Y equals 0 minus 5. That's why that's a -5. You understand me now, right? I'm just plugging into the equation. What?
On the test, if we don't graph, you get it wrong.
Yeah, it's just like this. This is exactly what you have to do. All right, now to plug in 4 now. So it'd be y equals -3 fourths times 4 minus 5. Y equals the 4's cancel, so -3 minus 5. Y equals -8. -8. And now we graph those points. -4, -2. 0, -5. 4, -8. And there you have it. Everybody good? Thomas? All right, let's look at the next one, just to make sure, Thomas. Uh-oh. Now this one, everybody put star by number 5. What is the y value always? Negative 5, right? So the y value has to be negative 5. What can I plug in for x?
-1.
Right, negative 1, 0, 1. And this should be a horizontal line. Right? So negative 1, negative 5, 0, negative 5, 1, negative 5. What do you know? Horizontal line. All right. What, Miss Schulzman?
I'm confused because there's no X.
Right. So that means you could write it like this: 0x minus 5.
Oh.
So then 0 times anything is what? 0. Right? Yes.
Number 6 is Y.
Okay, that should be a plus. Thank you.
Is that plus?
Yeah, just put a plus. That's good.
Oh.
It didn't really matter. Yeah, I think it really wouldn't matter. Anybody else? Just change that. Look at number 6. Change it to a plus. I just made a typo. Thomas, you okay with that now? Come on now. Thomas kind of means nothing to me. Kind of means nothing. All right, thank you. You ready? Listen now. It's telling you that the y value is always what? Negative 5. That's what that means. Y equals negative 5. So notice all of my y values are what? That's right. And the x's can be anything. And we said pretty standard, instead of making x anything, just do negative 1, 0, and 1. You use negative 1, 0, and 1 unless there's a fraction. Do you hear me, Thomas? Okay? And then just plot those 3 points. Come on, Thomas, you were doing good now. You're not communicating very well. All right, here we go. Let's take a look now at number 7. Okay, now everyone needs to review this. What happens when you want to find the x-intercept? What's true?
I don't know, but I know.
The y is 0. When you want to find the y-intercept, what's true? The x is 0. All right, Thomas, you got to pay attention on that now. So basically, you have to remember you put a 0 in for y and a 0 in for x. If I plug a 0 in for y, what do I get for x? Now remember, I'm plugging 0 in for y, so that's going to be 2x plus 0 equals negative 6. Yes, so x equals negative 3. So negative 3. I'm going to ban these metal containers. It's so distracting. All right, you guys are constantly clank, 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 clank. You got ice in there. It makes noise the whole entire time. Thomas, do you see why that's negative 3, 0?
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to plug 0 in for x. I'm going to come up here and put 0 in for x. So that would be 2 times 0 plus 3y equals negative 6. What happens to the 2 times 0? 0. So 3y equals negative 6. So in this case, y equals what? Right, y equals negative 2. So now you have to be careful. You have to graph negative 3, 0. Then you have to graph 0, negative 2. And then you have the line. Everybody okay with that? All right, now let's make sure you understand. Let's do number 9. So what do I put in for 0 or for y first? 0. And then 0 for x. That's exactly right. Now I'm going to plug 0 in for y, so it's going to be 5x minus 0 equals negative 5. Right, 5x equals negative 5, so x is equal to negative 1. Now I plug 0 in for what? Plugging 0 in for x. 5 times 0 minus y equals negative 5. Negative y equals negative 5, so y equals what? 5. Y equals 5. Right, so I have 0, 5. 0, 5. Everybody okay with that?
Why would it be negative?
Because remember, the negative in front of the variable means change the sign. It was a negative, you changed it to a positive.
Oh.
Yes.
Is this the only thing we can get?
The whole quiz, this whole packet, it's everything on there. So now let's graph negative 1, 0, and 0, 5. And now here we go. Everybody okay with that? Move on. Number 11. 0 in for y, 0 in for x. All right, you should be getting better at it now. If you plug 0 in for y, I get 7x equals 14. So what's true? X equals 2. If I plug 0 in for x, I get negative 2y equals 14. So y equals what? Negative 7. Thank you. So now let's graph 2, 0, and 0, negative 7. Bless you. Poor baby. All right, here we go. Now we need to find the slope. All right, now what I did is I plotted some points on here. All right, everybody take a look at 13. Does it matter what 2 points you pick?
No.
I would probably try to pick 2 that are close together, though. So here we go. We're going to go here and here. So how much should I go up, Aiden? How much did I go over? Right. So that's 3, that's 2. So my slope is what?
2.
That's how simple. 3 over 2. That's how easy. Thomas, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. 15, here we go. I'm going to try this point here. And I'm moving to this point right here. How much should I go up? How much should I go over? How much? 10. Right? So the slope is actually what? 5 over 10, which reduces to 1/2. Very good. I'm going to go ahead and put 5 over 10 and then reduce to 1/2. Are we okay with that? All right, now we got to find the slope of the line containing the 2 points. All right, so this is where you did your formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Negative 4 plus 5. Negative 6 plus 2. Bless you. Does anybody have any questions or concerns with that? Anybody have any issues with that? All right, so now simplifying that, that looks like 1 over negative 4, which we just say is negative 1/4. Jack, you all right back there? All right, here we go. For 19, again, I just like to write the formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Negative 11 minus 1 over negative 10 minus 7. That looks to me like negative 12 over negative 17, which is the same as 12 over 17.
Why do you take a negative sign?
Because a negative divided by a negative is a positive.
Don't make fun.
So it doesn't matter the order you do it.
No. We could have done 1 minus negative 11 over 7 plus 10 over 17. Same thing.
It just turns into positive.
Yeah. All right, here we go. 21. Come on, girls. All right, here we go. M equals 5 plus 2 over 3 plus 1. 7 over 4. Any issues with that? 23, here we go. M equals negative 8 plus 7 over 4 minus 5. Negative 1 over negative 1, which is 1. Okay? 25. M equals 2 minus 5 over 9 plus 13. Negative 3 over 22.
Why is it plus?
9 minus negative 13. 27. Here we go. M equals negative 5 plus 5 over 9 minus 4. 0 over 5 equals 0. What?
If it would be 5
Over 0 would be undefined. Yes, no solution. No slope. Yes. No. Right. Any vertical line would have a slope that is what? Undefined. All right. There is no slope. We say a vertical line has no slope.
And that's when
That's right. What's when the denominator is equal to 0?
If they run,
Yes.
I can just put 0.
No. On 29, you're supposed to put no. You put that symbol. What?
On 31,
Get ready to do.
it's See ya, hubble.
Okay, here we go. Now remember what we said for slope. All right, defining slope. Delta y over delta x. We could say it's the rise over the run.
Did you say that on the test?
That's perfectly fine. Rise over run. It's a ratio. All right, that's the main thing you have to get out of that. It's a ratio. What?
I thought that would go under right to slope formula.
The slope formula would be m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
But isn't delta y over delta x equal to that too? We just don't use it. Okay.
What?
Is it always the second one or
It could be y1 minus y2. Yeah, that's just where we start them. Draw a line that has no slope. That would be a what? Vertical line. Draw a line that has a slope that's 0. Horizontal line. Come on, go. All right, here we go. 35. Now here it looks like we have to plot points. All right, we have to plot points for this one. All right. So what points do we want to use? What 3 points are we going to plug in?
Oh, minus 1, 0.
Negative 1, 0, and 1. Everybody plug in negative 1. That should be mental math. If I plug in negative 1, what do I get? Negative 7. So right off the bat, is the answer A? No. Is the answer B? Do you agree? It's definitely not B. What about C? No. So it has to be what? It has to be D. Everybody see that? Now if you want to, you could plug 0 in and you get negative 5. If you plug 1 in, you get negative 3. So you just plot those 3 points and see which one lines up with it. Okay? All right, let's look at 30. Well, I made a mistake. 36. This should have been 37. That should be 37. That should be 38. That should be 39. Okay. So 137, it says, the graph below shows the total number of music album sales in millions each year from 1997 through 2009. Based on the graph, which the following best describes the general trend? First of all, is there an increasing or is it decreasing? So I would not say A, and I would not say what? C. Do they remain steady or do they decrease? So the answer definitely was what? I don't think that's that hard. What?
Wait, why would it be C? Because it says the sales increased from like 2000.
Oh, that's right. I didn't read that. Thank you very much. Hold up. I think he's right. I just thought it was doing the whole graph. That's why, again, it's a good lesson right there. All right, make sure you read carefully. Yes. So this right here, you've got to read carefully. The sales increased until 2000. So let's look here. So he's right. It increased until 2000. Right? Because it starts at what year? 1997. And then what did it do? And then there was a general decrease. All right. There we go. C is correct. All right, let's look at 39. In the figure above, which two sides of the polygon have the same slope? What do you think? Yeah, of course. RS and WT. Very good. Because the rise over run is the same. I went up 3, and I went over 2. I went up 3, and I went over 2. Very good. All right, so what time's the bell ring?
08.
10:08. Okay, so we have 8 minutes, guys. All right, I want you to continue on quietly. If you have a question, you want to come to my desk, that's perfectly fine. I'll work with you individually. But again, sit down, get to work. I don't want any silliness. I want you to study. All right, I need you to study. with these worksheets, actually. Yeah, I will post the solutions right after my other algebra class.
Yeah.